Hi folks, so question 7 is about triangles and angles, and the part C then is about congruent triangles. So triangle here has two angles of 70 degrees as shown. What type of triangle is this? So because two of the angles are the same, then that means that uh, it has that the two sides then have to be the same as well. So it has to be an isosceles triangle. So scalene triangle, that's when none of the sides or none of the angles are the same in it. Uh, an isosceles triangle, though, that's when two of the sides are the same. So in this case, or two of the angles are the same. So in this case, two angles are 70. Equilateral, that would be if three of them would be the same. But the three of them definitely won't be 70 here because 370s won't add up to 180. There has to be 180 degrees in triangle, or each of the angles have to add up to 380. And then a right angle triangle, that's when one of the angles is a 90-degree angle, is a right angle. So this can't be a right angle triangle either. So isosceles is what we have to take there. Work out the size of the angle A then. So what you need to know here is that the angles in a triangle, I just said it a second ago, they add up to 180. So if you add them together, 70 plus 70 is 140. And then if you take away 140 from 180, that has to leave you with what's left then. So take them away, and that is 40. So the angle A then has to be 40 degrees. Part 3 then of A, this triangle is joined to a parallelogram as shown. The angle B in the parallelogram is marked. So you have to work out what B is. So first thing you need to work out here is you can work out this angle down here. Along the bottom there is a straight line, and you need to know that a straight line will be 180 degrees as well. So if you think about it, this much is 70, and then the rest of it, so 70 plus whatever that blue angle is there, would have to be 180. So if you do 180, take away 70, it'll give you 110, so 110. Now, you're almost finished here because it says it tells you that it's a parallelogram. So there's a rule that the opposite angles of a parallelogram have to be equal to each other. So what that means is that B and 110 here, they have to be equal to each other. And also uh, this angle up here and this angle down in the bottom corner, they would be equal to each other as well. You don't need to know that or use that for this question. But the opposite angles of a parallelogram are always equal. So 110, that's just our answer here. Right, so part B then. So this question only has part A and part B. What they're asking us about here is congruent triangles. So uh, there's 4 rules with congruent triangles. There's side angle side, or SAS, and then there's SSS, side side, and then there's ASA, and then there's RH. What it means is that two triangles, if you've got a side, so for the first one here, if you've got a side, uh, an angle, and another side next to each other in two different triangles that are the same, well then that means that the two triangles have to be congruent. Really, we're just looking at SAS here for this question. So if you look at the first one, um, we do have two sides that are the same. We've got a 3 there and a 3 there. And then we've got an angle that's the same. We've got 80 and 80. And then we've got 4 and 4. So it goes side, angle, side. So there's an angle in between two sides which are the same, or which correspond in the two triangles. So therefore, uh, that first one, that is definitely congruent. Second one then, because we're only given a side, an angle, and another side in the triangle T, we only need to check for side angle side. So we do have a side that's the same, and then we do have another side that's the same, but we don't have an angle in the middle. Here, the angle in the middle here is 80, and we don't know for sure that this angle here is 80. We do, this is 20 down here, so that doesn't really help us at all. So uh, is the triangle definitely congruent? Well, we don't know for sure. It could be congruent. If that blue angle there was 80, then it would be congruent, but we don't know for sure. So no is what we take there. Next one. Um, so we've got a side here that's the same, and then we've got another side that's the same. But again, we need the angle in here then to be the same. So we need an 80 and then another 80 in between the two sides. So because this 80 is across the triangle away from, it's not in between the two sides, we don't know for sure that it's going to be congruent. So it's very unlikely that that would be congruent. So you need to have that blue angle there would need to be 80 as well. And then that doesn't leave much left. It could be, but it's likely not to be there. The last one then, um, the last one will be congruent. So you've got we've got a side here, we've got 3 and 3, and then we've got 4 and 4, and then we've got the angle in the middle. So the angle in the middle is 80 in both of them. So side, angle, side. So therefore we know that those two triangles definitely are